all of you?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. So just to quickly recap on what we understand more of ERPs and then the background of ERP yesterday, and also we understood about the fusion part. So what is fusion? What are the modules and all those stuff we understood. At the other side, we understood about the services that we receive, like infrastructure, platform, and software, right? And so yeah, I think that's all we understood yesterday. If anyone get a chance and any questions, if you have from yesterday's session. All right. So if nothing, then yeah, we can just start with the day two, right? So today, my point is to make sure that you understand what are the different types of projects, what are the different roles that are available in the market, what are the different terminologies that are used in the software industry, right? Or when you go for an interview or whenever you go for any implementation project, right? You should understand all the terminologies, and that will help you kind of showcase yourself more professional than others, right? So that is something we'll cover, and then we'll just start with certain processes like procure to pay process, the understanding of that procure to pay process and all those stuff. Correct. So, so I'll just start with a few like types of projects. I think like some of you like Priyal or Agnesh, Vaishali, you might be knowing about this type of project. Not all, but yeah, at least few of them. But just to give you kind of an idea to Anirudh, Niraj, right? So these are the different types of project which a consultant can work on, right? So we can get this kind of project like greenfield implementation is nothing but a fresh fusion implementation, right? So there was uh, no Oracle systems involved earlier, right? So it's like companies are moving, let's say, from Tele to I hope you heard about Tele, right? So Tele is again a small scale accounting software, but you move from Tele to Oracle or from NetSuite to Oracle, or there are different softwares. From there, you are moving to Oracle Fusion. So that's a greenfield implementation where you need to start from scratch. You may need to start from setting up the masters at ERP level. So those all activities you may need to perform. So that's something is a greenfield implementation, right? The other one is a re-implementation, something which we heard yesterday from Priyal, right? She is currently focusing on certain part of re-implementation that may happen because of the bad implementation earlier, or it did not go well, or sometimes happens like there are such structure changes, right? Or there may be a chance that the business may have revamped something, or so that's there are different reasons that you need to re-implement. So in that case, it depends on the whether the customer wants to redesign the whole structure or they just want to go with certain part changes and all. But yeah, that is again one another kind of a project which you may get once you joined in this world for implementation or this kind of support. Yeah. Uh, Third one is EBS to migration, which many of the customers are nowadays going on, right? Because they already are working on EBS. And as I mentioned yesterday, EBS is an on-premises software, which is nothing but e-business suite. And Oracle has asked to migrate the customers from EBS to Fusion, right? So that's where now customers are having a demand of those kind of consultants who can help in migrating from EBS to Fusion. Again, it's considered more as a implementation, but not as a greenfield implementation. But yeah, you can at least get some relief from the Oracle side on this particular type of projects. So this is another type of project that we have in our plate. Fourth one is rollout. So suppose if my company is based out of India, head office is in India, I started my Oracle Fusion in India because I want to make sure that my head office team or the corporate people, they understood, they implement it in a proper manner. So that's where I did implement it in India only. And then once India Oracle goes live, then we will slowly, gradually roll it out to other countries where my operations are or where my existence are. So that is what rollout, which we call it. So it's like extending the existing implementation to new countries or business units, right? So that's where you may need to kind of rolling out, right? So whatever existing implementations or the designs is there, you just need to roll out that to other countries or business units, right? So again, this is more of an opportunity where initially what I have observed that some of the freshers or some of the people who are already like 2 3 years of experience, right? They were given this kind of projects because the main implementation has completed and their job is just to kind of doing the rollout under the guidance of some senior. So that's where this kind of projects is also an opportunity to work on. Post go live AMS. So we'll understand the cycle of the project. So between there, we come across somewhere post go live support, right? Or AMS, managed service support, right? So it's more like we will work on issues that will come post go live, right? So it's not like once the implementation completed, there will not be any challenges, right? The challenges starts after implementation. Just understand that. So once the implementations get completed, hypercare support get completed, then the next step will be post go live. That is kind of a support that the team will give. Now, there may be a same team who has implemented like different like the person may different, but those same company will be awarded with the support project, or the third party or the different company itself, they will have a different like they will also support for this kind of project. So in that case you will work on the tickets, right? Like tickets in a sense, somebody gets an error, so you need to replicate that error, you need to understand why it has happened and then test it and then resolve that particular error in a test environment first and then in a production environment. So that's where that kind of tickets comes. Then the second type of support is period close support, right? So sometimes users will connect with you to ask and to support them in period close to run such some reports to close the period. So those kind of activities are also part of this support. Third point is patches or like upgrades which is happening, right? Or enhancement. So like enhancement in the sense, if some reports are not available in that particular fusion, right? The customer may ask you to develop those reports or may ask you to enhance certain functionality. So that's where also as a support partner, you may support them in enhancement and then test and then deploy it. So that's kind of an activity that is part of your AMS or support projects. This is also a like a way where kind of a fresher or initial people they can start working on, right? So that they'll get a feel of what kind of issues that are coming. They'll understand where to work and what to work and all those stuff. So yeah, this is also another opportunity. Uh, Release upgrade, right? So we will discuss today quarterly, like Oracle gives quarterly updates, quarterly patches, right? So they I mean, see, Oracle is not a stable kind of or like we can say a fully matured software, right? So they also need to keep on updating or upgrading wherever they see some opportunity of improvement. So they every quarter they release certain patches, so that patches has to be tested in test environment and then only it will be deployed in production environment. So जो test environment में हम लोग को test करना पड़ेगा, we'll need to test in a test environment whether existing functionalities are working properly or not. The one which was working proper earlier but not now after updates, then we need to raise the ticket or raise the SR with the Oracle support team. Correct. So this is more of a release upgrade. There also there is an opportunity to work on. Um, Second last is nothing but your health check assessment, right? So you will simply kind of review the existing gaps or existing setups to find and identify the gaps or optimization. See, one of the company that I just recently came across, right? So they have developed a tool which simply run with Oracle. They will validate all the setups, whatever is done by the customer's implementation team, and they will give kind of a health check report. That report will contain like what implementation or what configurations have not properly implemented, what are the configurations that are bad, what needs to be improved. So this kind of 81 parameters they have set up and they will give a report. And based on that, they may go to re-implementation or they may go with some enhancement or some modification. So this kind of projects are also part because now there are a lot many fusion customers are there. So you may also get chance to work in something called a health check or assessment for the Oracle Fusion. Right. So these are seven important ones. The last one is testing project where you need to dedicatedly support customer for either SIT or UAT. That is a testing, right? And that's where you dedicatedly focusing on functional testing, regression testing, or integration testing. And also as part of the implementation projects, right? As a functional consultant, you can also work on this. You can also work on this testing part, right? Unit testing kind of stuff. So testing is again a kind of an opportunity where a consultant can work on. See, again, it's not that on the day one of your job, you will get an implementation project. But yeah, you may start with any role and then you can gradually switch to other roles and make sure that you understand the whole hierarchy and the ecosystem. That is very important. Correct. So this is, I think, all about the types of projects which we can work on. I'll just move to next one. See, if you have any questions, just raise it. That's okay. I mean, and you can buzz me in the between as well. So now, uh, what we saw is type of project a consultant can work, but what kind of roles available, you can just go through this, right? Like just a quick glance. So if I work as a consultant, right, from a functional perspective, so I should know what is requirements, what is configuration, CRP sessions, UAT support, test scripts. These are my responsibility as a functional side. So then I will be called as a functional consultant. I know what is the process, what are the Oracle configuration. That is called functional consultant. That is where we all are gathered here. And I will be training you on this particular part. That is a functional part. Second one is technical part where you will work on development or integrations, right? You can see this RISE W, right? That is reports, interfaces, extension, workflow. So that's where you need your some coding expertise as well as some Oracle expertise in terms of integrations as well as in terms of enhancement and interfaces. So that's where you will work as a technical consultant. Third one is techno-functional. That is kind of a hybrid where you understand business as well as technical terms. So you help in designing as well as in setting up the technical solutions as well. A major one, the very important or very senior role which we all see is solution architect. So the role of, because see, when you become solution architect, you will become solution architect after 10, 12 years of experience, right? Hardcore experience of fusion. But once you come to this role, right, solution architect, what you will do, you will provide a solutions, not you will configure, you will not configure, you will not do this kind of activities, right? What your will be to provide solutions. See, in this world, right, there are so many complex problems are available. Same in accounting as well, because every company has their own processes, right? And they want to convert those into fusion. So that's where they need help of solution architect. What solution architect will do? It will, or sorry, he will help building the solution for the complex problems, cross module designing, how to like architect the integration, because you might have different applications, so it will help you in that, somewhere in pre-sales blueprinting as well. So majorly this all responsibilities are part of solution architect. It is considered to be one of the most senior role in this software industry, right? Same, next one is project manager role. So project manager is someone who manages the whole project, who ensures that the project gets delivered on time, within budget, with no delay, or with no misses, no risk, right? So that's where the project manager role is. And you might have heard about like every company or every project will have project manager who is governing all these people, who is leading all this functional, technical, techno-functional, solution architect, business analyst, data migration lead, testing lead. All these people will report to this person for this particular project perspective. Correct. And he is responsible to report to the CXO or CEO or CFO, CIO. Correct. So project manager is very important role to handle that project, ensuring that that project is working as planned. Okay. So these are kind of a more of roles for the software side. The one which business analyst is more towards the business side. So business analyst का role क्या होता है? Let's say Neeraj, you are in currently in industry, right? You now move from industry to IT side. Now, the very first role that somebody can offer you is business analyst. Why? Because you already know how the business is run, how the processes are there in the this in the real time businesses. Correct. And at the same time, from IT side, you know how to do configurations, what are the requirement or configurations are available. So you can work as a bridge between client, that is a customer, and the implementation team, and you will support them in providing the documentation, requirement, and all those stuff. So that's where your role comes more into business analyst. Correct. Every company, every project needs one business analyst, because the end customer or the end users, they don't know what is Oracle Fusion, right, on day one. So they need someone who help them in creating documentation, creating requirements and all. And that's where business analyst role is very critical in this project. Next one is data migration lead. So most of you who has worked in projects, they know what is data migration, right? But we also need, if the project is big or the client has a huge database, right, to migrate, then they will also have the data migration team, which is separately being led by data migration lead. So that person's role is to ensure that the data is correctly migrated from legacy or old system to the new system. Correct. In normal small projects, it is taken care by the consultants and along with the business analyst. But in the enterprise or big projects, right, DM lead is someone who is taking care of data conversion and quality. Right. So we'll understand FBDI and all, but his role is to update the FBDI templates, data cleaning karna. See, always in previous systems or legacy system, data will not be proper or clean, right? So you need to ensure that before you migrate those data in Fusion, you clean those data. You make sure that the garbage data should not go to Fusion. Also, you do reconciliation, making sure that whatever is data is there in your legacy system is migrated to your new system. So you need to do reconciliation and then submit the report, get a sign off and all from the business. And then cutover activities, like when we go for a like live, right? Go live. So before that, there are certain cutover activities happen, like to migrate the data, to complete the configuration. So all those activity within that, DM lead is also one of the participant. Testing lead. So if you have a testing partner there, or you're within your team also, if you have testing lead, their job is to ensure that the configurations are working fine. Their job is to making sure that the there are no defects available in the processes when we do front end transactioning, right? If there are any defects, then ensuring that those are closed, making sure that the test cases and all are designed correctly. So again, these are all more of testing that whether the software is properly configured and working fine or not. Production support consultant, as we discussed, his job is to kind of resolve the tickets, support in the pre-close patch validation, and then L2, L3 support that we'll discuss later. And lastly, change management lead, right? So what happens, and this is very critical role, I would say. So in big projects where where I have worked, right, they dedicatedly have a person who is working as a change management lead. Now, many of you might not have heard about this, but this person's role is to ensure that this project is from legacy to new is going properly, right? Is in aligned. Everyone in the project, right, involved or stakeholders, we can say, they all are communicated properly. The end users accept or adopt the software properly. If there are any issues during cutover, that is being communicated properly. The approvals are in place. The key user workshop, like the workshop for their adoption. Then there are a lot many things the change management lead has to do. Like during the go live and hypercare, he has to ensure that the processes are in place for the ticket creation. These are just an example that I am giving, but there are a lot many responsibility this person has to do, right, in terms of change management. So these kind of roles you can also apply if you think I mean, apart from technical, right? I think most of the roles are available and open for you all. So you can apply in any of this role if you get a chance, right? And you can see the responsibility, but this is high level. You can, I mean, this will be more descriptive once you go into that particular role. Correct. Any questions on this one from anyone?
No, nothing. All good.
Okay. So I'll just move to next one. Okay. So what happened? I have captured here some terminologies which are normally being used, right? Now, it's not some, I have captured like almost 3 pages, if you see, right? So I'll not go in detail of these 3 pages. I'll just quickly take you through certain ones which I think which you should know. But for Neeraj, for uh, Anirudh, and I think Vaishali or Priyal, or if you also want to understand, right, you can just take a screenshot and later on you can read through it fully. Try to see if something which you don't understand, you can ask me. Or at least once in a week, you just refer this terminologies, right? This will help you somewhere during your projects. Right. So these all terminologies are somewhere being used in projects like fit. So what it means, like client's business requirement that standard functionality can fulfill without any customization. That's something we call it as a fit. Gap is something, a business requirement that Oracle cannot fulfill as is and require a workaround or a solution. So it's a gap, right? Fit gap analysis is nothing but when you identify which requirement is fitting and which requirement is not fitting. So that is something you will identify, which is called as fit gap analysis, which is very common across the industry. Fit gap analysis. CRP is something, conference room pilot, which is kind of a demo that you give to the customer, and then based on that you will receive some feedbacks and customer will share you more and more of their business details once you have them cost the CRP. Then comes the SIT, UAT. This is more of a testing part. Cutover is nothing but when you before you go live, you will have certain days which you will keep to migrate your balances or master data from your legacy system to Oracle. So that is something, a cutover activity that will be performed. And this cutover is something which will be like, some companies keep 2 days cutover, some companies keep 5 days cutover. It depends on the volume of the migration data. Hypercare is after go live, there will be 4 weeks, 6 weeks of hypercare. During that time, right, it's more of a war room, we can say. So during this hypercare, one has to ensure that whatever ticket that comes from the business, right, you ensure that you resolve it within some time, because this is very cautious period, you can say, right? Heightened monitoring and rapid response. Just read this word. So you being a consultant, your job is that within this period, right, you ensure that you give response very rapidly. Sometimes when we work on a projects, right, let's suppose the project is in, let's say, US, right? So customer call the consultants to the on-site during the CRP sessions and during this hypercare sessions, and like go live and hypercare. Why? Because this time is somewhere where they need the consultants the most, right? सब कुछ issue आया and they will call us and then we need to resolve on the spot, right? So that is very important. Hypercare go live is nothing but you are migrating from the different software to the Oracle Fusion. It's like you are going to production. BRD and all are the document nomenclature, like business requirement documents. FRD is functional requirement document. As is something which is your current process. In the legacy system, what process that you are following. So you capture that as in as this process. And then there is another one is to be process, which is a process in the new system, right? So I'll not go in detail of all this which I have captured, but you can just go through this. And but yeah, I will suggest you to go through and make sure that you understand. In case if you still have any doubts, let me know, I'll help you. Correct. But this first page is kind of a standard terminology that we use, and these are the detailed ones that I have captured. Okay, just go through it and let me know. I'll ask you tomorrow certain pointers, so just remember that. Okay, so that's something we'll do. Um, okay, just a quick glance on the career path, right? So see, I'll not take much time here, but just to give you kind of an idea. See, this is a fresher, like when you work on the project, right, you will be considered as a fresher. Why? Because you didn't get any exposures, like not for all of you, but some of you, right? So you will be either considered as an ERP trainee, you will work on the learning modules, you will work on the practice environment the way I have given, you'll work on a assignment support and all those stuff. So already, we have already taken care of all this stuff, right? So I would not consider you as a fresher, fully fresher. You already will work on assignments, you will practice, you will learn modules, you will also work on kind of a project, demo project. So that way you can consider yourself more above than fresher, right? So next role is junior functional consultant, who are supporting as a shadow resource, you can say, who will work on the project but not at the front facing of the customer, right? So those are like, you will work on config support, you will work on data migration, template preparation, data migration, test case execution, like unit test cases, documentation. That's where you will be working under the guidance of some senior folks, right? So that is something junior consultants we say. Then it comes to consultant, right? A functional consultant who is leading a module, who will make sure that that particular module is configured correctly, who will work closely with customer as well. So he'll be front facing as well. He is leading the CRP, UAT, client interaction and all those stuff, right? Generally, this tenure which I have mentioned, it depends on the role to role, company to company, but in a normal environment, this is where you generally work. At this level, at the end of 2 to 5 years, you will be working more as a consultant. Somewhere I have seen that 4 year consultants are also considered as senior functional consultants. So don't go with this number hard coded. This is just for your reference. Many companies are using this structure, but it may differ somewhere. Then functional consultant will be progressed or promoted to senior functional consultant, where his role is to handle multi-module leading, right? So he will now not only focusing on one module, he will focus on 2 or 3 modules, or it may depend that he will focus fully on the financial modules, all financial modules, right? So his role is to more working as an expert in the financial modules. He will handle the juniors functional consultant. He will also provide the designing part, and he may also work for support as well, like pre-sale support on getting the business, right? So once this role completes, then you are considered to be kind of a lead, because you till then you work as a more of a IC role, individual contributor role. Now you will work as a lead or SME, because now you have 8 years of hardcore experience in Fusion. You consider that you know most of the things which a consultant and the senior consultant already knows, right? So what you will do, you will work closely with the customers, creating, setting up the workshops, ensuring that the customer gets the proper answers. You prepare the designing part. You also work on the rollouts, practice building, all those detailed work you will do. You will also lead the project as a project lead, ensuring that this all people under you are working as like to deliver the project on time. You join the calls, senior folks calls, like CXO calls, to represent the project. All these things will be taken care by lead, right? So that is very important process. In some projects you will have functional lead, technical lead as well. In some projects you will have one lead who is taking care of both functional and technical side of the team, right? But yeah, this is where lead comes into the project. And then once after lead role, you have solution architect or principal consultant, right? So there, as we discuss solution architect role, he will provide the full solution. He will work on the cross functional modules. He will work on the integrations, and his role is more towards providing the enterprise solution, right? So suppose, just I'll give you one example, just to check, are you all comfortable in Hindi and English both, or only English? I'm just Agnesh. They're both. Yeah, great. Okay. So my recent example, I just actually wanted to give one recent example. Like, see, last year there was one project that I was also part of, right? That project is very big project. Like, it's a second largest insurance company of one of the country, right? So उस केस में क्या था कि they were using SAP, right? They want to migrate from SAP to Oracle because they were not happy with the SAP performance in terms of the functionalities and all those things. Now, Oracle, maybe they wanted to go with multiple applications, not only with Fusion, right? So then they onboarded one solution architect from Oracle itself, whose role was to help in building the whole enterprise solution. Not only Fusion, but enterprise solution. When we say enterprise solution, is something like उनका हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस कैसे वर्क करेगा, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस के एजेंट कैसे वर्क करेंगे, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस के कस्टमर को क्लेम करना है तो वो कैसे क्लेम करेंगे, ठीक है? Those all kind of end-to-end solution he has to build. So that's why he took almost 1.5 months to build, and uh, it involved like almost 6 different applications along with certain legacy third-party applications. So it was a huge, like huge enterprise project. And but yeah, there the solution architect role was to build a full solution designing, including all the different applications, including Fusion as well. Correct. So these are the major roles that is involved. But as I mentioned, you can also work on as a project manager, as a product manager. You can also work as a business analyst or independent consultant. You can support in training like what I am also doing right now, right? You can also work for a training, and you can work on a testing part as well, right? So as a testing consultant. So these are the other roles which can be performed along with this roles. So yeah, so this is about kind of a career progression that we have. Now, since you all will be working as a functional consultant, I'll give you kind of a quick idea about what will be your responsibility when you work on a project, right? See why I'm giving you this all idea at the first in the first initial sessions. These are very core for you, right? So you just go through this again and again whenever you need any help, right? So just refer it or refresh it your memories with this whenever you get a chance. Okay, now as a functional consultant, what your job or what is expected from you is that you know the business is right, you know the business process, how the business works. I'm not talking about any specific customer, but at least at a high level, you should know okay, how the P2P cycle work, how O2C cycle work, how generally the month-end process work. So this all thing you should know, right? And that's where you can help your customer in converting their business into Oracle Fusion. So first job is to gather and document the business requirement during discovery or CRP workshops. So this is where you will gather the like detailed business requirement. So what आप लोग क्या करोगे, जैसे मैं अभी आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ, राइट? आप मैं हम दोनों डिस्कशन में उतरेंगे, मतलब वी विल आई विल जस्ट स्पीक ऑन from a Oracle language and you will speak on a business language. I'll show you the screen of Oracle Fusion. I'll discuss that या यहाँ से हम लोग AP invoice create करते हैं. Then you will give me more idea that या हमारे पास इतने different type के invoices आते हैं. So that's where you both will interact. You will understand as an Oracle consultant. You will understand what is the business all about. What are the processes, and that's where you will more comfortable with that processes, and that's where you draft that requirements, right? Again, being a consultant, your job is to showcase yourself as an expert of Oracle. So these all are very basic expectations from you. Let's say gather and document the business requirement, BRD, as we discussed earlier, business requirement document, and then functional requirement document. So this all document you need to work on. You will need to design the enterprise structure. So again, this is not only your role, your senior functional consultant, your solution architect, if at all, they will work on it, but you should be part of this discussions, right? How many legal entities is required, how many ledgers are required, how many BUs are required, how many segments are required, what will be the calendar. All those discussions are also where your need is there, right? So you should be part of that as well. Then next step is once you gather the requirement, once you gather the configuration, the data, right? You should configure the Oracle Fusion through FSM. So you should start configuring, making sure that your Fusion has all the basic configurations, right, which is needed by customer. Then you will give them a demo and then you will get more feedback. Then again, you will improve and all, right? So that's where your job is to configure the Oracle Fusion. Next is write and execute the SIT or unit test cases and support UAT with the business user. So till this step, you will configure the system, right? You will have certain demo data in that. Now, once this is ready, you will hand it over to business for user testing, right? UAT means user acceptance testing. So before handing over, you will do your own testing. Like you will check whether all the functionalities are working, all designs are working, all reports are working, all the integrations with other systems are working. So all the thing you will take care of, right? And that is where your SIT will be completed and you will also support business in their their business unit test, sorry, user testing. So business will also do their UAT. There you will help them in UAT as well. So कहीं पे क्या होता है कि suppose मैं I'll take an example. मैं business user हूँ. See मुझे बहुत limited knowledge होता है, right? Oracle Fusion का. मुझे मेरी प्रोसेस पता है, बट बिजनेस को Oracle Fusion का नॉलेज कम रहता है. सो व्हाट इन दैट केस कंसल्टेंट विल हेल्प देम इन गाइडिंग, राइट? कहाँ से कहाँ जाना है, क्या यूज करना है. कुछ एरर आया तो उसको रिजॉल्व करना है. कुछ एरर आ रहा है ड्यू टू अंडरस्टैंडिंग इश्यू, तो उसका अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्लैरिटी देना है. सो दैट्स वेयर एज अ कंसल्टेंट यू विल वर्क. Then prepare the data migration templates and validate those data. So agar you don't, the customer does not have separate data migration team, then you may need to work to prepare data migration templates. You need to validate those data, upload those data in Fusion, and check whether any errors are coming or not, right? Then सर्टन लेट्स से डेट का फॉर्मेट है, तो डेट फॉर्मेट सही से फिल हुआ है कि नहीं. सो all this kind of validation checks you need to do. And if even if the customer has the data migration team, right, then also your job is to upload those data into Fusion, check whether there is any error coming or not. All those stuff you need to take care of, and that's where your consultant's role will come into the picture in this, right? So once this all steps done, then your role is to give user and user training as well, right? Why? Because see, आप अगर end user को नहीं सिखाओगे तो day one पे वो कैसे काम करेगा, करेक्ट? मैं जाके पूरा कॉन्फ़िगर कर दिया, मैंने रिक्वायरमेंट किया, मैंने कॉन्फ़िगर किया, मैंने टेस्टिंग भी किया, सब कुछ रेडी किया, बट डे वन पे मुझे जो एंड यूजर्स है उसको अगर नहीं आता होगा तो मैं क्या कर लूंगा. ठीक है. तो हम लोग, our job is to also give end user training, prepare the SOP, standard operating process, right? So we need to hand over certain documentations as well. So as part of that, we also need to provide SOPs, user guides, and training manual or training material as well. So this all, as a consultant, you can prepare or you have to prepare. Now there are that different tools available. So not always you need to work on everything, but you can take help of those tools as well as per the your company's uh, capability. Right. And lastly, support the cutover activities and hypercare or post go live support period. So जब हम लोग, when we will have a go live, right? Before that, let's say 2 weeks of cutover, 1 week of cutover. During that, you support in this data migration. During that, you support in configuration migration to production environment. This all thing you need to take care of. And then after go live, you need to give a support of or give a hypercare support. That's where, as we discussed, we need to focus more. Correct. Just to give you kind of a real-time feel, again, an example. So during an implementation at a mid-size Indian auto parts manufacturer, the Oracle accounts payable consultant run 8 workshops covering supplier setups, invoice workflow, payment terms, and bank configurations. Correct. So see, unless you get final requirement and sign off from the business users, right? You need to give come like you need to keep on giving designing to them, right? Until you get final version. Like see, first version आपने बनाया, आपने भेजा, then they say no, we need some more. So again you discuss with them. Second version भेजा, still some issues. Third, fourth. So in this example that we saw, we came across a scenario for one particular module only where 8 different workshops happened, which covered the end-to-end accounts payable process and the configuration. And after 8 sessions, we get a final sign off. But you see, it was a 60-page functional requirement document. 60 page, you just assume how big it is, right? And then we trained 15 business users as well. So this is kind of a high level expectations from a consultant, how to do this activity. Now, see, major, मैं जब भी किसी से भी बात करता हूँ, I always ensure कि once you complete your training as well, right? Ensure that you understand GL perfectly, accounts payable perfectly, matlab deeply, right? Then third one, cash management perfectly. Fourth one, account receivable, and then fixed asset. So go in this order. First GL, second accounts payable, third cash management, fourth account receivable, and then lastly fixed asset. And then there are other modules as well. But मेन टॉप मॉड्यूल्स में से ये ऑर्डर में आप जाओ, इसको मगअप कर लो, इसको आपके कॉन्फ़िगरेशंस को गो थ्रू करो, रिपीट करो, मेक श्योर ईच एंड एवरी फील्ड यू अंडरस्टैंड, राइट? बिकॉज जब भी कोई कंपनी, अगर इफ सम कंपनीज गो लाइव, राइट, first and foremost they need is GL, because GL is the heart of Fusion or any company even, right? So GL will always be there. Then second one is accounts payable, because companies needs to make a payment, right? And accounts payable is very good in Fusion. So most of the companies are using the accounts payable module. Third one is cash management, because when you are dealing with accounts payable, you also need a bank side as well. So you will use cash management module of Fusion. Fourth one is accounts receivable, because companies may go with third party softwares as well. So that's where if the companies are into Fusion for account receivable, then it is good for you to do the configurations and all. And then fixed asset, because fixed asset is again part of Fusion, but not all companies have fully implemented it. So better you focus first on AP, GL, AP, cash management, AR, and then fixed asset. Correct. So this is something, a kind of a high level expectations from you. Do you want me to take you through like how this implementation life cycle works in terms of phases, or you, let me see, 8:35. Yeah. So I'll just quickly take 5 minutes to kind of guide you on how this implementation lifecycle works. So we all see now you must be followed with lot of different terminologies, all those stuff, right? Now, uh, when this project work, right, like just as an example, if some companies, okay, what I'll do, I'll just take this up later part. So we'll take it up later. Because in Excel also I have the same which I have captured for you. So we'll just take up this later. We'll see if we miss something to take. Otherwise, we'll consider it from the Excel file itself. Okay. Real-time project scenarios we'll take up later. We'll understand that how this general project has been happened, right? UAT testing and cutover is again something which we can skip for now, but we can take it ahead later if you need that kind of guidance. Live and hypercare is again one of the crucial states. So I just try to consider these two, which are very crucial to understand and then work on it. And these are the certification guidance, like this kind of GL, payables, receivable, and fixed asset numbers are there. I'll guide you somewhere when you want to like work on it on how to go and how to use the certification and where to go and all. Okay, but not now. This is just kind of an high level for your understanding. Okay, so now I'll just quickly jump to one another side of the training, our training, right? So now I'll just quickly start more of like, let me just zoom it out. Yeah. So this is something which I used to take, right? I also guide you in this all. And this is why I have mentioned it, or why I have written down it already, right? Because to save the time, right? If I'll just gonna type it and then show you, it will take a lot of time. So I do have this noted down earlier. So I'll give you this. We'll discuss on the whatever is written, and then we'll discuss some other examples as well on the right side of this. Okay, so now I hope you guys have understood how this implementation, how functional consultant and all those stuff works, right? Any questions on this all? Anirudh, Neeraj, Agnesh, Vaishali, or PL?
No,
Not yet.
Nida.
Okay, all right. So let me just move to the next slide. Now, for some of you who are new to this, right, just quickly I give an idea. See, this type of transactions are there, like vendor invoice or AP invoice, sales invoice or receivable invoice or AR invoice. Day-to-day expense will be there, correct? Collection from the customer, payment to supplier. These are the routine transaction even in the smallest company, right? They will also have these kind of transactions, correct? But you will work on these transactions only on the Fusion, correct? But you need to understand how these transactions work in Fusion, right? So there are front end, back end, both of these will be there. Now, when we say front end is something I'll just show you. This is your front end. Let me open this. So when you log into the system and whatever you see on your front end is your, this is your UI, we can say, or front end, correct? Now, what is backend then? Backend is the database or table structure which Oracle has, right? Because when you do some transactions, right, it will not directly save somewhere as a mirror image. It will be stored in a structured manner in a backend table, that whenever you need to pull the data, right, you can pull it easily, करेक्ट. सो अगर हम लोग ने कोई वेंडर इनवॉइस या एपी इनवॉइस क्रिएट किया तो इट्स नॉट लाइक के यहां से मैंने ये ट्रांजेक्शन क्रिएट किया और सिंपली उसका बैकएंड में उसका एक मिरर इमेज सेव हो गया, नहीं, इट्स नॉट वर्क लाइक दैट. Every data whatever I am filling here in the transaction, it will be stored in some tables, some fields. So suppose मैं यहाँ पे बिजनेस यूनिट डाल रहा हूँ, मैं सप्लायर डाल रहा हूँ, सप्लायर साइट डाल रहा हूँ, तो एवरीथिंग विल बी स्टोर्ड इन अ बैकएंड टेबल, सो दैट हम लोग जब भी रिपोर्ट बनाना है रिपोर्ट बना सकते हैं, कुछ भी डेटा डाउनलोड करना है तो वो भी कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, तो इसको हम लोग ये जो टेबल्स दिए हैं, एपी इनवॉइस, इनवॉइस डेट का जो इसके अंदर जो ये फील्ड्स है, दिस ऑल आर योर बैकएंड व्हिच वी कॉल इट एज इन डेटाबेस, करेक्ट. सो जब भी हम लोग को करना होगा, हम लोग फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड देखते हैं. बैक एंड मोस्टली हम लोग कम यूज करते हैं, बट फ्रंट एंड से हम लोग ज्यादा ट्रांजेक्शन्स करते हैं. ठीक है, तो ये एक बेसिक आइडिया था. नाउ अभी जस्ट टू गिव यू अ फील, सी how this implementation works, right? So we already have that captured here, kind of a implementation cycle from a consultant perspective, right? But what I'll guide you is more towards a real-time practical how this whole cycle works, right? Not only from the consultant perspective, but from a overall engagement perspective as well. So let's take an example of Reliance Jio. So Reliance Jio wants to go for a new ERP, right? So they were currently using some customized ERP, but that is not fruitful, that is not workable, it's not compatible. So the CEO or CFO, they decided to move with another ERP. Now, so ऐसा तो है नहीं कि आज हमने बोला और कल मिल गया और कल से स्टार्ट कर दिया. इट टेक्स अ लॉन्ग टाइम, राइट? बिकॉज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपको पहले मार्केट में इवेल्युएट करने पड़ते हैं कौन से सॉफ्टवेयर्स अवेलेबल है, कौन से ईआरपी अवेलेबल है, आपकी इंडस्ट्री के लिए कौन सा वायबल है, आपके जो मार्केट साइज है, आपका जो टर्नओवर है, उसके हिसाब से विच सॉफ्टवेयर विल बी यूजफुल, what budget that you have for your software, all these things matters, right? Plus आपकी खुद की प्रोसेसेस कितनी प्रॉपर मेंटेन है. अगर ऐसा है कि आपका सब कुछ मैन्युअली चलता है, राइट, and you want to buy something new fusion, so that is not easily available possible, right? Because पहले आपकी प्रोसेस को पहले स्ट्रीमलाइन करनी पड़ेगी, then you can go with some standard ERPs. ठीक है, तो बेसिक पॉइंट आता है कि मैं एज ए रिलायंस जियो का जो सीएफओ हूँ, एज एन एग्जांपल, हम लोग को अगर नया ईआरपी चाहिए तो मैं क्या करूंगा, पहले तो मैं हमारी इंटरनल टीम के पास से डेटा कलेक्ट करूंगा, राइट, कि हमारी क्या क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है, हम लोग कौन से मॉड्यूल्स यूज करते हैं, हमारे क्या क्या करंट इश्यूज है, राइट, बिकॉज again end user will know all these issues and they only can give the list of issues in their current system, करेक्ट। तो हम लोग पहले वहां से स्टार्ट करते हैं, एज ए सीएफओ आई विल इंश्योर दैट माय रिक्वायरमेंट्स, माय पेन पॉइंट्स आर इन प्लेस, ठीक है, इट्स अगेन एट अ हाई लेवल, नॉट डिटेल लेवल, बट एटलीस्ट आई शुड हैव समथिंग। Now, second thing, what we will do, we will choose the implementation partner who, or we can also choose someone who is kind of an assessment partner. Now, what those partners will help now, though they will help you in framing or in identifying which ERP is best for you. ठीक है, why? Let's suppose take an example. Implementation partner or assessment partners are like EY, Deloitte, PwC, L&T, that is L&T Infotech, TCS, Infi. These all companies are like an implementation partner. They also support you for your assessment as well. So what they will help you? They will ask certain data from you, from the customer. लेट्स से फ्रॉम सीएफओ से, आपका कितना टर्नओवर है, कितने मैन पावर्स है, कितने कौन से मॉड्यूल, मतलब कितने प्रोसेस में काम करते हैं, आपके क्या इश्यूज है, आपका क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस है, क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स है, ऑल दोस थिंग दे विल गैदर एंड दे विल प्रिपेयर एन असेसमेंट के विच सॉफ्टवेयर विल फिट यू, like whether SAP will fit your company, whether Oracle will fit your company, or whether Microsoft, you should go with which software. So they'll give you like a 2 or 3 recommendation, they'll give you pros, cons and everything. And once you get that as a CFO, right, you will internally discuss within your CEOs and your CXOs and decide कि हाँ, we want to go with, let's say, Oracle. ठीक है, now एक एक स्टेप खत्म हो गया कि हमने डिसाइड कर लिया किस ऑनर, मतलब किस ईआरपी में जाना है, ठीक है। नाउ इफ वी वांट टू रिटेन विद द सेम इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्टनर या जो असेसमेंट पार्टनर था, तो हम लोग उनको रखते हैं, वरना हम लोग कोई और इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्टनर को भी ढूंढ सकते हैं हु कैन हेल्प यू इन implementation for this project. Now, हमने ERP ढूंढ लिया. What we'll do, we will contact the Oracle sales team. They'll discuss. You need to provide the number of licenses accordingly. They will give you a quotation, and then based on that quotation, you will finalize that. ठीक है. तो आपने क्या किया, पहले ERP ओनर मतलब Oracle को चूज किया, फिर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्टनर को चूज किया, फिर आपने लाइसेंसेस डिसाइड किए. अभी जस्ट टू गिव यू एन आइडिया, एक लाइसेंस अगर आप लेने जाते हो ना ऑरेकल का, तो आपको मतलब कितने में पड़ता है, जस्ट गिव यू काइंड ऑफ अ नंबर, से 97 रुपीज चल रहा है. एक स्टैंडर्ड उनका 625 डॉलर्स में पड़ता है, ठीक है, और उसमें वो जनरली 75-80% डिस्काउंट देते हैं, मोर भी हो सकता है बट इतना देते हैं. तो आपको एक लाइसेंस तकरीबन 48,000 में पड़ता है, राइट. अगर आपके पास ऐसे 50 लाइसेंसेस, इट्स अगेन नॉट, इट्स वेरी हाई आई गेस बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रेट्स इम्प्रूव, राइट. सॉरी, मैंने गलत दे दिया, आई एम सॉरी. या सो 85% डिस्काउंट देते हैं, सो आपको आइडियली पे करना होता है 15%. सो एक लाइसेंस आपको पड़ता है 9,000 रुपीज पर मंथ में. नाउ जस्ट थिंक दैट आपके 100 एम्प्लॉइज है, तो आपको 10 लाख रुपए तो खाली पर मंथ के लाइसेंस कॉस्ट पे करना है, और उसके मल्टीप्लाई बाय 12, मतलब एन्युअली आप कितना पे कर रहे हो, 1 CR. मंथली आप कितना पे करो, 10 लाख रुपीज. सो दिस इज द नॉर्मल कॉस्ट ऑफ 100 एम्प्लॉइज व्हेन यू गो फॉर Oracle फ्यूजन. एंड दैट इज वेयर इट इज सेड दैट ये कोई छोटी मोटी कंपनीज के लिए नहीं है, बिकॉज दिस इज अ ह्यूज कॉस्ट, राइट. व्हेन यू सी 1 CR जस्ट फॉर दिस पेमेंट ऑफ लाइसेंसेस, उसके अलावा जो खर्चा है वो तो अलग है, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्टनर कॉस्ट और वन टाइम जो कॉस्ट रहती है वो सब, राइट. सो दिस इज वेयर यू विल आइडेंटिफाई योर लाइसेंसेस number of licenses, and accordingly you will freeze that, you'll buy that licenses, right? Now, once that license comes, it will come with two different servers. One is production server, the another one is non-production server. Non-production server is something where you can do development, you can do testing, you can do data migration. You will ensure that all the activities you do in non-production, because production server is something which is go live server, right? So where you will work after go live, so that you cannot touch. You only can work on non-production environment. You do every activity whichever you want to do. Now, they give you two server free when you pay this license cost, right? But if my project is big and I need to use a third server as well, correct? Like a quality instance or whatever you can say, right? So in that case, that will be available with an additional payment of say 25 or 27 lakhs, what I know, right? So you need to pay 25, 27 lakhs to buy a quality server or an additional server, we can say, not a conditional. I'll write it here, additional server. Okay, so you will get this servers, these two by default, and then the third one is we can purchase. You can purchase more, right? But it will be additional payment only. So this is how your kind of an high level understanding of how this ERP buying process works, right? See, I try to justify, but in case still if you have doubt, let me know. I'm happily helpful. I'll help you. Okay. So see, I'll just move next to the implementation cycle. Now, this cycle and this one cycle is more or less same, right? This is specific Oracle implementation life cycle, and this one is a kind of a software development life cycle. Both are working in a same pattern, but what I'll do, I'll take up this one, not this one, just to give you kind of a more clarity, because otherwise you will get confused. So in Oracle implementation life cycle, we generally have 6 phases, starting with inception. It's more likely you are getting yourself settling down in that project. You will assign a project manager, you will assign a project lead. On the other side, from the consultant side, you will assign a lead, consultant list, senior consultant list. All these things will be happen in this particular stage. So you will prepare a project charter, you will settle down your team setup, environment provisioning, मतलब जो हमने अभी देखा कि परचेस करना है एनवायरमेंट, वो सब हम वहां पे करेंगे, एंड देन वी विल kick off the project, right? Kick off is again very important term for those who are new to this. So kick off projecting, like to start the project, that all things we will do in the inception stage, and that's where your project gets started. Okay. Now the phase one inception, second one is elaboration. This is where you will get into that project, understand the as is or current state analysis. You will create a workshops, you will do the workshop means nothing but a meetings only, but it's a fancy word, workshops, that we use. So you will do workshops with the customer, you will understand with them, you will guide them, so both the way it will work. You will prepare the documentations, you will get a sign off, or you will also create a different versioning of that. All these things will work based in this elaboration phase. That's your phase two. Just a minute. Sorry. So elaboration is somewhere you will create documentations and get a sign off, right? Once you get a sign off, that means you have I mean, see, sign off means it's not like they'll just manually do the sign off, right? It's more that they confirm that whatever you have prepared in terms of designing, in terms of their existing process is correct. right? So then only they will give you a sign off. So until they give a sign off, you cannot go ahead and start building the environment or configuring the environment. So that's where understand this, getting a signing off is very important. Third phase is building the configuration or build environment, right? That's where you start configuring the environment. You will do the configuration based on the data that you have received. You will also see on the reports, interface, extension, whatever is required develop in terms of development, you will start doing that. You will prepare the data templates like BR100. You will also prepare the other templates. Right? That's where you will build that particular environment. Environment means nothing but your server or the instance or the software, we can say. Now, once this build activity completed in dev environment, right? Development environment, then you will focus on the testing part. The testing will be more of SIT, that is integrations testing, UAT, that is a user acceptance testing. You will also do the defect management. So in case of any error or defects during this two, you will ensure that those are resolved. And if there is some pending, then you ensure by when it will be resolved or what kind of defect that is. So it's a severe or it's a medium or high, low. You will decide that and accordingly you will move ahead. So once this is done, that means all most of your activities in terms of like project is completed. Now the two important one is deployment, right? So you will now plan or start planning for the go live. You will work on the data migration, cutover, planning, production environment setup, and then training. So this is where you ensure that before go live, whatever activities are required is being completed, right? Including the production environment setting up as well. And lastly, operate. So how you operate, that means how you go live, how you will do the hypercare, stabilization and knowledge transfer to the support team. So that's where this last stage of operate is coming into the picture. And this is very important because you are going live, you will give the hypercare and then you will hand it over to the third or support team, whatever support team will be taking care of. So you'll handing over to that, or you will hand it over to IT team of the customer. So this is how a kind of an implementation life cycle works. And just as an example, uh, like some company which is Tata Steel, right? They are going for Oracle Fusion for these three modules only. So the modules are like GL, AP, and AR, right? So they followed the OIM methodology for Fusion, correct? So earlier it was OUM. Now we can say it Oracle, or sorry, OIM, that is Oracle Identity Manager. Right. Sorry. So earlier it was what was the name? I just missed out the name. Okay. So yeah, just I just recall. Okay, earlier it was OUM, right? That is Oracle Unified Method, right? Which was kind of a standard framework for all modern cloud implementation projects, right? And this one is AIM, that is Application Implementation Methodology, or we call it AIM as well, right? It's a standard document heavy framework, right? Which we generally have. So they went with Oracle's AIM method, right? The project run for 9 months. So you can see this whole six phases went till 9 months, right? And generally it is not recommended to go more than 4 months if it is a standard project, but it takes 6 to 8 months for sure for a kind of a project where we need more efforts. So it took 9 months for 4 consultants, 2 technical consultants, right? They took 3 months for building up this process, right? One phase 4, that is testing. It identified like 47 defects. Some of them are very critical. So now you can see this critical, right? The one which I said, critical is something which is always required to be resolved, or there should be workaround for that. Without resolving this critical defects, right, you cannot go into next phase of cut over and then go live, right? Because on day one, these 6 critical issues may stop or hold your business. So that's why better to uh, go with resolution or work around for all this critical or showstopper kind of defects, right? So that's kind of just an example of, or we can say, the implementation life cycle that is generally followed. Okay. Yeah, coming back to here, I'll not go into this because we already discussed. After go live, as we speak, right, it's more of hypercare that we will follow. Right? Data migration is something where we like download the masters from the legacy system, convert it into new format, and then upload that new data formats into new server that is in Oracle. So when we do migration from SAP to Fusion or any other legacy to Fusion, we follow this approach. Correct. Now, support we discussed, rollouts we discussed, upgrade something happens upgraded, then Oracle support. Okay. So now see, we understood most of the pointers, important pointers. Now I'll give you certain website or links, right, which are useful as a consultant, right? So because now now you will be working as a consultant, you should know docs.oracle.com, right? So let's say if I open that docs.oracle and then support.oracle. So here it is kind of a library which is given and available to all, right? So now if you see under Oracle, under docs.oracle, you will find cloud infrastructure, that is OCI, Java. Even on the cloud application, you see Fusion, NetSuite, industry specific. All these are available. Let's say I'm going to Fusion Financials. So under this, you see latest 26B, that is ongoing quarter. It has the data of that. And you have all the materials like how to use, how to implement, all these guides are available. It's more like you will have a kind of guidelines. Let me open this implement financial common features. So it will open your library or guidelines, right? How to do configure what. Let's say if I want to configure the currency, how to do that. So it gives us kind of an idea, right? It will not show us how to do that, but it will give you an idea about what it is, right? And let's suppose if you want to download that, you can click on this download button. It will create a PDF and download it in that format. So you can see it downloaded all these options in this PDF. You can just use the index to go through that. So this is kind of useful when you are new and you need your support in terms of any definitions and documentations that you can use through here, right? Similarly, after implementation, let's say if you want to use it for roles and responsibility security part, you can do that. If you want to do configuration, you can use that. Reports, you can use that. So it's kind of available, but you need to check whether this is available for your required field or not. So this is kind of just bookmark this website. This is very useful. Second one is support.oracle.com. So this website is more like you can just raise your request to the Oracle team. Now, don't think that you are an Oracle team. You are a consultant for Oracle, right? But Oracle has their own product support team as well. So when you are using this environment, right? This one. and you get across any errors during this, what you'll do, you'll not, I mean, unless if you are able to resolve it, that's a good thing. But if something that is a product behavior or something that is not being resolved by you, you will raise it to Oracle. Oracle has their own support team, My Oracle Support. They will support you in terms of resolving your issues. You can see, get the most out of your product, service, find answer, engage with community, and resolve issue. Right. But for this, right, you need your support ID. That is something very required. And without that, system does not allow you. Correct. So just to give you an idea, support.oracle.com is something which is to raise the support request. And then third one is community. So Oracle has community, like we use Facebook, right? It's a community. So similarly, this is Oracle community where you get answers or where you can raise your questions, your support. You will get the support from someone who is also an expert. Let's say I'm going to, uh, so this is for on-premise, this is for cloud. So I'll just visit the community of cloud. As soon as I'll open this, you will find welcome to the Cloud Connect. And now you need to log in. And once you log in, you see 613,000 users are there. 539 discussions, 1.6 comments as well. So it gives the comments and everything. You can raise your questions or doubts. You will get resolution, you will get comments, and then you can give correct answer. But you need to log in here, right? But I don't have login for this one as of now, but you can do that here in the community. So these three are very important links. You just bookmark this in your Chrome browser. Okay. So because Oracle is widely used, right? They have given this kind of processes and the documentations as well. Now I'll start next topic, which is P2P cycle and then O2C cycle. So what is the process? What is the how to like understand that? What is the example? All this stuff let's understand now for P2P cycle and kind of giving you an idea, right? See, whenever I take an interview, I ensure that I ask P2P cycle to all the interviewers, right? Interviewees. Why? Because this is very critical for a consultant to understand. And this is where I can check the knowledge of consultants in terms of processes. So always, I mean, mug up this process. Just recall it or just remember it like you heard every time. Whenever I ask you P2P, you should remember what documents or what processes are there, what is the accounting entry, what departments are involved with an example. So whenever in the interview, if somebody asks you, you can easily answer that, right? So this is kind of very, very, very important, I would say. And I'll always insist everyone to mug up this or remember this. Now, so P2P cycle, what is this P2P cycle? So the name itself says procure to pay cycle. Procure means you are buying something. You want to procure or buy something till the pay means payment side, right? So you want to buy something until you pay it, this cycle will be there with you. Correct. Now, why this is needed? See, hum log jab, when we want to purchase something, right? What you will do, you will go to some one shop, the other shop, the third shop, and then from the third shop, you will buy it, right? And then you come home. But in corporate, it does not work in that way. In corporate, you should need a structured way of procurement or buying something. If that will not be there, then there will be a chance of corruption. There will be a chance of wrong practices, right? Because अगर मैं procurement team में हूँ, I can buy from somebody else, right? who will pay me commission. So that will not be an ideal scenario. So in corporates or in enterprises, they will dedicatedly have their own procurement team who is taking care of procurement side, and then finance team will validate those because they will get the bills and all. Correct. So that's where P2P cycles is used. Now P2P is again a vendor cycle, you can say supplier cycle, because when you work with for procurement, right, you work closely with your vendors or suppliers. That's where your P2P cycle is coming. Now, when it starts, so just assume that you join a company, a new company. What they will do, they will provide you a laptop, right? So you need a laptop once you join the company. What you will do, you will request to your manager that I need a laptop because I joined the company, or your manager will request on your behalf, right? So once you request that, you will approve that request and you will send it further. Now that is what we call it as in purchase requisition. You will request for purchasing something, right? This is kind of an example. Say in another example, let's say I want to buy stationery. Correct. So what I will do, I'll request to the procurement team. So that's where we call it as in purchase requisition. Let's say I need certain services from certain consultant. I'll just request a purchase requisition. Let's say I need certain materials. I'll request a purchase requisition. So that's where I just create a purchase requisition in the procurement module for this particular purchase equation. Now, this is just kind of an understanding document. It does not have any impact on the transactional like monetary or accounting. So there won't be any accounting entry involved. So first transaction is purchase requisition. Second one is request for quote. Now, when your procurement team will receive your request, right, what they will do, they'll not directly go and buy from one supplier. They will first check in the market whether this product is available, yes or no. They will go with multiple vendors to check the prices, right? Then they will request for quote. This means that they will ask them to provide a quote for that. So once the quote is received, then the based quote from that request will be accepted. That means this request for quote is again kind of a memorandum. It does not involve any monetary liability or obligations. So this is not required any accounting entry, right? Now, second point, RFQ submitted. Now, multiple vendors gave the quotations. What procurement team will do? They will onboard the vendor who gave the best quote. Say कोई person मुझे लैपटॉप 50,000 में दे रहा है और सेम कॉन्फ़िगरेशन का सेम लैपटॉप somebody is giving me in 47,000. So what we will do, we will buy it from the vendor who is giving me on 47,000, because and that will build the relation, right? So that's where I will onboard that supplier. Correct. Now, once onboarding is completed, then the procurement team will send the purchase order. Understand that till now no obligation is created. Huh? We are sending just a purchase order. Purchase order is nothing but a memorandum again that we want to buy this quantity. Please confirm whether you are able to provide this, yes or no. Right? Once they confirm it, then only this will, or once they send the material, then the obligation starts. So here, purchase order we will submit to the vendor. Based on that, he will arrange the inventory or material or laptop, whatever it is, and then they will send that material to us. Now, in the corporate side, it's not like directly uh, you will get the laptop, right? The X person. It will first go to the admin team or IT team, and then they will verify it, inspect it, whether it is correct as per the order. Then they will send it to you. So that's where goods receipt comes into the picture. So what you will do, you will collect the material, right? You will receive the laptop. Now, when you receive the laptop, your obligation started, because now you are supposed to make a payment to that vendor because you received something from them, right? So your company is obligated for that. And that's where this accounting entry will start, where it says receiving inspection account debited to AP accrual account. Now, this AP accrual account is kind of a clearing account only, but receiving inspection is because you have received the material, but you did not inspect that. So you will do this kind of entry. This is system generated entry, but procurement consultants or supply chain consultant will do that. Now, once this material is received, then the warehouse team or the QA team or admin team, IT team, they will inspect the material, right? So that means that they will check whether this material is okay, that laptop is okay or not in terms of the defects and all. Right now, once that is clear, then you will create an entry which is asset account debit to receiving inspection account. In this case, because this is laptop which is used by internally, we will create asset accounting. Otherwise, we can create inventory account or any expense account as well. But here I have taken asset account. Let me change to inventory or expense or asset account. Right. So this account I'll create. Why? Because now I am keeping that material out of inspection and within my inventory or asset. That's where I'm getting that asset. So now once you inspect, then you are good with that material, right? So now what you will do, you will send that invoice to finance team. Finance team will book that invoice in the books to make sure that we will pay that person, right? So now it comes to AP, and that's where our consultants or finance consultants role come into the picture. We will create an invoice, or the end user will create the invoice for AP invoice for, and the accounting will be AP accrual account debit to accounts payable. That is a supplier account, right? So this is where your accounting from a supplier perspective will start. Now, there is one very good concept called two-way, three-way, and four-way match. And many of you might have heard about this as well. What is two-way, three-way, four-way? Let's understand that. So Oracle is very flexible. It gives you option of two-way, three-way, and four-way match. Why this is needed? To again to avoid any fraud. What fraud? So understand that I have two-way, like two-way match, right? So what it will do, it will check the purchase order which we submitted, right? The original purchase order with the AP invoice only. So what it will check, it will check whether whatever we ordered, like a laptop of i5 with 8 GB RAM or 500 GB hard disk, is received or not. Also, the rate was quoted as 47,000, whether the invoice is of 47,000 or not. That will be matched, and that if both of these match, then it will directly create an invoice with the two-way match method. Okay. Now, the second option is three-way match. Three-way match combines the purchase order, the good receipt, and the AP invoice. Now I'll just highlight it in red so you'll understand. These three will be matched. How? So rate of that particular inventory or asset will be matched from purchase order and the accounts payable invoice, and the quantity will be matched from good receipt note and AP invoice. Now again this is bit critical. Why? See, understand that मैंने order किए 10 लैपटॉप, ठीक है, 47,000 रुपीज के 10 लैपटॉप ऑर्डर किए. अगर मैं टू वे मैच से जाता हूं और पार्टी ने मुझे 10 लैपटॉप का पीओ मतलब एक्सेप्ट किया था और इनवॉइस भी 10 का भेजा, तो वो सही है, नॉर्मल सिनारियो. बट जब मटेरियल आया मेरे पास, रिसीव्ड हुआ, तो मुझे 8 लैपटॉप ही मिले हैं. व्हाई? बिकॉज वेंडर सेड कि आई विल सेंड इट 2 लैपटॉप लेटर ऑन ड्यू टू स्टॉक नॉट अवेलेबल. तो मुझे तो 8 ही मिले, तो आइडियली मेरा इनवॉइस कितने का होना चाहिए? 8 का होना चाहिए, ठीक है. बट somehow I received 10 invoice for 10 laptops, so that's where the discrepancy comes, right? And that's where two-way match is less used, because it may have a chance that आपका मटेरियल कम मिले है बट इनवॉइस आप पूरे का बना रहे हो. So that's where you will use three-way match. Three-way match, it will match the rates between PO and invoice and the quantity between good receipt and AP invoice. And that's where your three-way match is very familiar, and most companies are using three-way match. Right. Now the next one is फोर-वे मैच. फोर-वे मैच में एक और लेवल पे जाते हैं वो लोग, और ये लोग इंस्पेक्शंस को भी कंसीडर करते हैं. सो इंस्पेक्शन का मतलब क्या हुआ कि मैंने 50 लैपटॉप्स का ऑर्डर दिया, सॉरी मैंने 10 लैपटॉप्स का ऑर्डर दिया, मुझे मिले हैं 8 लैपटॉप. ठीक है, बट चांसेस है कि 8 में से एक लैपटॉप बिगड़ा हुआ है, मतलब सही नहीं है, डिफेक्टिव है. तो मैंने तो अपने इन्वेंट्री में ओनली 7 लैपटॉप्स ही लिए हैं, बिकॉज एक लैपटॉप मुझे वापस भेजना. सो इन दैट केस माय एपी इनवॉइस शुड मीट ओनली 7 इनवॉइस, सॉरी 7 क्वांटिटी. सो मेरा एपी इनवॉइस 7 क्वांटिटी का ही होना चाहिए, ना कि 8 या 10. सो दैट्स वेयर दिस फोर-वे मैच कम. What it will check? It will check the rate from PO with invoice and the quantity. It will match within receipt and the inspection both. So it will check both the quantity, whatever is less, it will match that with the AP invoice quantity. And अगर वो मिल गया तो वो फोर-वे मैच करेगा. So now these three are different two-way, three-way, four-way match. When I ask any questions to anyone, right, I ensure that I first ask the P2P cycle, and then I ask what is two-way, three-way, four-way match, right? That is a counter question that I do, so that other person, I can understand how detailed he has understand the process. And this is a business process I'm saying, right? So two-way, three-way, four-way match is done. Once this is completed, AP invoice and all, we will now go and make a payment. So payment to whom? To supplier. So मेरा काम है supplier को pay करना. Now what I'll do, let's say I'm giving a check to supplier. तो मैंने supplier को एक check भेज दिया. But वो supplier कोई आज के आज तो वो clear करेगा नहीं, मतलब बैंक में भर देगा नहीं. तो it will take time. So what I'll do, I'll create a cash clearing account. मतलब मेरा बैंक में अभी इंपैक्ट नहीं हुआ है, मेरे कैश क्लियरिंग अकाउंट में जाएगा. इट्स मोर लाइक एन अक्रूवल अकाउंट ओनली और क्लियरिंग अकाउंट, राइट. तो ये यहाँ पे पेमेंट के टाइम पे इट विल क्रिएट एन सप्लायर अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश क्लियरिंग अकाउंट. इट विल मेक अ पेमेंट टू सप्लायर, एंड वंस दैट पेमेंट इज क्लियर आउट इन माय बैंक, राइट, लाइक सप्लायर ने वो चेक भर दिया and now that is clear, then the entry will be cash clearing will be reversed out and actual bank account will be impacted. And this is where my accounting gets completed for P2P cycle. Bank account credited. So I have paid the amount to the supplier and that get cleared as well. This is something happen when we'll do the reconciliation. So this is cash or bank and team will do that. Okay. So this is your payments reconciliations as well. Now, overall, if you will see this, all right, let me zoom a bit less. Yeah. अगर आप पूरा अकाउंटिंग देखोगे ना तो यू विल रियलाइज के देखो यहाँ पे रिसीविंग इंस्पेक्शन रिवर्स हो रहा है, एपी अप्रूवल रिवर्स हो रहा है, अकाउंट्स पेएबल रिवर्स हो रहा है, कैश क्लियरिंग रिवर्स हो रहा है. क्या नहीं रिवर्स हो रहा है? तो बोले आपका इन्वेंट्री और असेट अकाउंट टू बैंक अकाउंट, ये दोनों है जो रिवर्स नहीं हो रहा है. दैट मीन्स व्हाट अकाउंटिंग विल बी हैपनिंग एट द एंड इज आपकी असेट क्रिएट हो रही है. ऑन द वन साइड योर असेट इज गेटिंग क्रिएटेड और इन्वेंट्री इज इंक्रीज्ड. ऑन द अदर साइड your bank account is getting reduced because you are paying that, and that is the very crucial understanding. So this is your P2P cycle, two-way, three-way, four-way match. I think I hope I tried to give you more clarity on this. Yeah, O2C will take up tomorrow, and then we'll move to the next topics of the users and all. But before that, we'll start on the navigation part, and I'll guide you more about navigations. So we'll not take up O2C today. We'll just leave till here only. Yeah. Any questions from anyone? I'll now roll it over to you. I spoke almost for 1.5 hours now. It's your turn now. Are you there, guys?
Yes, yes, Nilay. I mean, it was
Uh,
like no questions, but yeah, it was a good session.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I thought everyone was silent, so yeah. Uh, okay. Anyone else? Anirudh, Agnesh, Vaishali, Neeraj.
No, so far so good, Nilay.
So far, so good. Okay. Um, Same Anirudh, Agnesh, or Neeraj. See, why I'm keep asking, because in the coming sessions, right, I'll expect that you guys upfrontly ask me questions, right? That's why I'm keep on forcing you to ask questions if you have, right? So just to get you familiar with this environment. But yeah, uh, if no questions, then I'll not give you assignments today, correct? So, but we'll start giving you assignments from tomorrow. So today also you can get relaxed. But I'll request if you can just try to go through this P2P cycle and then this presentations, this terminology, that will be good. Right. So tomorrow you can ask me questions for this terminology, any of this that you think you don't understand. So I'll help you understanding this. And this particular presentations is available in the folder day one, like I mentioned day one, but I'll keep it day one, day two. And it's in open. So it's in the same presentation. It's 19, 20, 21. You can use that. Again, I took a lot of efforts in preparing this, so I request if you don't need to download, just don't download it, because again it will increase your memory, but it is anyways available here in this screen. So just go through this terminology once again, just go through whatever we learned so far, and tomorrow onwards will be more practical in terms of the screens and all. The major theoretical part is completed now, except this O2C, which I'll be taking care of tomorrow. And there are rules, sorry, users and all. This will be part of your front end only. Right. So I think that's all from my side. I will sign off today. Any questions, just ping me. I'll help you. And yeah, we'll meet tomorrow morning, 7:45 again. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Priyal. Yeah. Thank
Thanks all.
you. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. I'll just end this session.